the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, to another week of Stoned Appetit with your host. As always, it's me, Kip. We are coming to you this week from the brand new headquarters of the Grasslands Agency. Located at the corner of First and Santa Fe, it looks like an army bunker, but inside is some great mines with a gnarly layout. And I'm coming to you from the soundproof conference room that is literally tailored for this exact thing and probably business stuff. But at the same time, it's a gnarly spot. These are great people. Shout out to Ricardo and the team, Sean and Julie for setting this all up. I love y'all dearly. And then obviously Chris is not here today. That's why I'm rambling. And you're going to hear a little bit more of me today, but you're also going to hear from our guests. I guess we're going first name only, but we'll figure this out. I have the guys that have created the famous edible brand TasteBudz, and have come to you with a brand new idea, the Drink Ebb dissolvable powder. And so we're here to talk about all things ingestible THC today. Mr. Dalton and Mr. Brooks, how are we today, guys?
Doing well.
Doing great.
Well.
We just talked about this microphone, and y'all already dropped it a foot and a half. Come on, guys.
I just want to give you something to edit.
Yeah, there we go. I'm just keep me on my toes. Thank you. If you wanted to do that in like the 48th minute, where it's a really random time, and I have to go fucking search for it. That's a great one.
We'll do it again.
Yeah. Well, that voice you hear is Dalton. Dalton, go ahead and tell, I guess, our listeners your full name so that it's not as weird. But
Sure. Dalton Hicks. I'm the Chief Development Officer here at Platinum Brands. Stoked to be here talking to you today, man.
Dude, I appreciate you. I mean, you say that now, but I swear by the end of this episode, you'll be like, get this the fuck out of here. And you'll probably be yelling at Julie a little bit, but I'll try to make this as
If it's
easy
not
as...
till the end, we'll consider it a success.
All right, yeah. If you get up and walk out in the middle and be like, fuck this guy, this sucks. Although that would sell. It'd be like Jim Rome having the guy come across the table when he called him the wrong name for the whole time. And we have, I guess we'll say business partner. We'll just say Brooks because I don't know your whole name. Brooks, tell us the full name.
My name is Brooks Allman. Founded TasteBudz in 2015, and I'm the head of product at Platinum Brands.
Okay, guys. So first off, did we get to make up our own titles?
That's part of it for sure.
That was the best part?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. And so I guess, well, before we start into the edible company, let's get to know a little bit about the guys behind the tie-dyes and the edibles. Where are we from? Who are who is your daddy and what does he do? That's kindergarten cop for those that know. But where are we from? Dalton, you first.
I'm a Florida transplant.
Hell yeah, Southerners.
Cheers.
Shit.
South Florida, born and raised.
Oh, shit. All the way down?
Most of the way down from a town called Stewart, a couple hours north of Miami.
Okay, so y'all, is that like white Everglades white trash, or is this beach white trash?
No, it's a beautiful small beach town for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's like tucked away from the white trash?
Yeah, it's quite nice.
we were visitors of the Panhandle, coming from the Mississippi, New Orleans area. So,
Florida West Coast.
yeah, it's an interesting crowd hanging out there in the Panama City, kind of Pensacola, little stretch there. It's interesting. Club La Vila and things of that nature.
I went to school up there, so going to plead the fifth on the crowds. But
Wait, where'd you go to school?
Tallahassee.
Florida State.
That's right.
Okay. Seminoles have had a tough go of it in sports of the last couple of years.
Definitely don't want to get too much into that, that's for sure.
No, let's talk about it. What happened to that Willie Taggart hire? No, I'm just kidding. I've worked in sports. It's not as fun as talking about cannabis, so you're safe on that one. Well, what brought you west?
Well, this opportunity did. So bounced around for a while, building my career in investment banking, and sooner or later decided it was time to quit advising cool builders and just start trying to be one myself, and had the opportunity to join these guys in 2020 and move on out west, and felt like a no-brainer.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's a great idea. Like, I'm going to jump onto a fucking rocket that's about to take off. Shout out to my friends over at Dogecoin. That's a seamless plug for anybody listening.
Yeah.
Me, Elon Musk, Tom Brady, all promoting Dogecoin. Sorry, I completely got railroaded. Do you want to talk crypto? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So you moved here from Florida, jumped on a rocket ship that was about to take off. That's a pretty gnarly reason to come west. I was just bored. So I like where you had like a little plan and you saw it out.
Sure, yeah, to each his own.
Speaking of plans, let's talk to the man, the myth, the legend, the guy behind the TasteBudz operation.
The man, the myth, and the legend.
The guy that was at a photo shoot today, a model shoot, but was not involved.
It was great. My first experience with that.
Are you a voyeur? Is that what that's termed?
I guess you could say, as someone directing and watching the shoot, you were a voyeur of the scene. But I, too, am a transplant from Florida.
Oh, get the fuck out. Did y'all know each other before?
Yes.
Oh.
We certainly did.
You're spoiling our story.
Sorry? I think Brooks spoiled it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, are you high school baseball teammates?
We did go to the same high school, actually.
Not baseball.
As did our third partner, Eli. All three of us went to the same high school, grew up in the same neighborhood in the same town, and
Fuck yeah.
came back together when it was time to launch a rocket ship.
That's right.
So was this an idea like started in a group text? Like were we all on GroupMe or WhatsApp? It was like, does anybody want to go make, pretty gnarly edibles out in the mountains?
The timeline didn't align with the group text. I think back then we were all rocking Razor cell phones.
So y'all wanted to get in the cannabis game when y'all were in high school as well. That sounds like a genius idea.
I mean, we might have consumed a bit, but I don't think there were any kind of rocket plans with Platinum Brands yet.
I love it. That's great. So did you come out in 2020 as well? No, wait, the brand's been around for a minute.
Set sail in 2013, graduated college, didn't really have many opportunities in Florida, and kind of saw the Colorado market as something interesting.
Seminole as well?
No, I'm actually an Osprey, which nobody knows because they don't have a football team, but it's UNF, North Florida, in Jacksonville.
Okay. I've gone to Jacksonville for bowl games before.
Okay, there you go.
It's a fine town.
Yeah, Florida, Georgia is there as well.
Yeah. Largest outdoor cocktail party.
That's
so
right.
Did y'all grow up Seminole fans? Are y'all on that side or this side?
No, I did not actually. I actually grew up a bit of a Gator fan, unfortunately.
Danny Warfel years made you?
Broadcasted to everyone I know, so that's bad news. But
well,
sooner or later, came to the dark side and moved over to FSU in Tallahassee to jump on rocket ships and all that fun stuff.
Were you all successful? Were you there during the Jimbo years? Obviously?
I was.
Okay, well,
it was not a bad time to be there for sure.
I'm speaking pure jealousy here. As a Mississippi State grad and fan, my time was with Sylvester Croom, and we had one winning season, and we beat UCF in a 7-6 bowl game in Memphis. So I had zero success in college. So
we were spoiled.
Yeah,
it was quite the scene when we won the national championship for sure.
Well, it's not a bad scene out here either. It's not necessarily as college sports heavy, but it's pro sports heavy. But it's not only just that, it's outdoors and edibles. The entertainment, life, and leisure genre out here is just much nicer than Florida. You'll like it.
Yep, agreed. I'm fully on board.
Well, speaking of fully on board, let's get fully on board with this brand. How did we come up with it? Who's the taste tester? I want to be involved. Realistically, let's talk a little bit about how the company came to fruition. Everybody wants to know a little bit about the TasteBudz, probably to start. Let's start with the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. So graduated college. Like I said, couldn't really find much to do. Came to Colorado in 2013 and hopped directly as a courier into a courier company that was transporting a lot of the cannabis products around Colorado. After about a year, I started my own company. And then kind of just started meeting everyone in the industry, seeing a lot of the insights to the edible manufacturing processes. And, yeah, it was pretty brutal being on the roads. I was driving to Durango twice a week. On my other 2 days, I was going out to Aspen. So definitely got the road trip experience in Colorado. It just turned into something that we didn't want to pursue anymore, so we kind of just turned into our vision towards more of the, I guess, different side of the market, which would have been the manufacturing side, and set our sights on the gummy line, which eventually developed into TasteBudz.
Question. So was it Platinum that started the Dankest deliveries and things of that nature?
No, it wasn't. That was actually called Green Cross Couriers.
Okay.
It was fun and a good experience. I mean, I was 22 years old.
Driving Doja across the state.
It was wild, actually, during the Boulder.
You're like a coyote, but different.
Exactly. My lawyer told me I was a pioneer, but she also told me that pioneers get shot first.
Yeah, you always want your lawyer to consider you a pioneer.
Yeah.
You know why they like you? They're probably like, this guy's going to give us a lot of this money.
You know, during the Boulder floods, my first experience with Johnny Law was I had about 60 pounds of trim in a black trash bag back in 2014. That's how it was transported.
When they washed out the road?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember
and I
that.
came up to one. I think the dispensaries was in Lyons, and there was a guy in front of a tank in front of the road, and he comes over to my car, and he's like, you know what, just pull over. I'm like, uh-oh. So it was fun experience, and kind of ran into a couple different things along the journey, but it's...
Got pulled over by a tank.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So I've had about 13 cops show up and say, what is the deal here? And I was explaining to them what a manifest should look like, and that's my name on it, and I'm just going to this dispensary right here. Just an innocent guy transporting 60 pounds.
Was your hand just like shaking like the Dickens? Like,
So
I swear to God, this is legal.
I was fresh out of Florida where carrying a gram is kind of scary.
I know that. I think that was the reason everyone left the South in like the mass exodus around the early teens. It's
Exactly.
like, who's sick of taking these $500 charges from Johnny Law?
Exactly.
Officer Cotton down there.
Yeah.
So needless to say, there's been quite a bit of industry evolution over the years.
Yeah, and it's fun to be a part of that and watch it grow and develop. And
Well, speaking of developing, so did you have to go find a scientist, like a nerd that knows how to do this, or was this starting with Jell-O and like just the weed oil that everyone else is
Trial and error, man.
So, yeah, like how did this start and kind of work its way through
It
to
was
this?
a lot of trial and error. I say I founded TasteBudz and Platinum Brands in 2015, but we didn't launch until January of 2017. So there was a ton of R&D and development in that. Honestly, the R&D started in our house kitchen, and I was just, everyone knows those little bear molds that you
You're a
see.
Steve Jobs. I'm just sitting here with the next Steve Jobs.
I certainly hope so. But yeah, so it really was the fundamental building blocks of the recipe, and then we did find a food scientist who kind of used those fundamental blocks and turned it into something that we all liked.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh.
There we go. They can still probably hear it. This is a pretty gnarly room. Shout out again to our sponsors of the day, Grasslands Agency. If you need a company to get your name into the media and out to the public, check out our friends over at Grasslands. That was a great answer, by the way. Seamless plug right there. You did mention something that kind of made me, you want to be Steve Jobs, and it's going to bring a really morbid question to mind. Would you trade the wealth that Steve Jobs had to die of cancer in an early age?
I mean, I don't think so, because if you watch those final...
I told you it's a hard-hitting interview.
How early of an age? I feel like you're leaving out important content.
I can't even remember how old Turtleneck was when he died. Was he like 61?
You know, I've seen the final interviews of Steve Jobs where he kind of answers that for me, where he's like, you know what, money doesn't buy time, and I think the experience of the business is more important than the financial side, so...
Hey, there you go. That's a great answer. As a not Steve Jobs watcher, I'll just take your word for it. That's from that.
Just believe me on that one.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, I didn't warn you.
God, we ruined the movie for everyone that listens. I wonder how it ends. Well, okay, so that was a really good little backstory. So we started out in 15. In 17, we launched with, y'all now have a couple of flavors that we see across the board. I usually get mine at like Live Well and such. But what flavor did we start with? And is it kind of like Kool-Aid? I mean, I have to know. Like, is it like making Jello shots with your friends before a party?
So are you asking if
how we came up with flavors and which one was the first one?
You know, a lot of our flavors are mixed in-house to create a little bit of a difference in the industry and not just like order your flavor. So if I'm understanding your question correctly, do I mix Kool-Aid with my recipe?
No, like which was the first flavor, and how did you start this from like in your own kitchen, Steve Jobs garage style?
Steve Jobs garage style.
What was the flavor that you're like, oh, this shit slaps, we're going to market with this?
You know, it's been a while since I've thought about this, but I probably had about 15 different companies lined out in front of me with little 2-ounce drams, and we really just dialed in the percent of recipe to volume of the gummy, and probably tried just tons and tons of recipes, tweaked them to how we saw fit, and then just went from there. You know, something that we didn't have back then was a network to kind of go ask. So the flavors really did come from personal preference in the beginning of TasteBudz.
So what's your best-selling flavor?